G'day and welcome to the Rant Corner. Just a quick reminder, on the 14th of June, Australia was up in arms concerning the shocking and violent arrest of Christo from the friendly Jordies team. Before we start a quick catch up of everything that has transpired and been publicly revealed by the friendly Jordies social media team, and by extension, what's also been revealed by their lawyers, I have to restate the completely violent and unnecessary arrest of a 21-year-old university student. But it's all not doom and gloom from this point on. There have actually been a variety of victories for the Jordies and Xenophon Davis team in the wake of these events. For the purposes of this catch-up, we'll be going in chronological order for the various posts that have been made by the Jordies and the Davis team. On the 24th of June, after a complete lack of information coming out from the social media team, they sort of did a really soft blackout. They only really promoted the gigs that Jordan was doing for his stand-up comedy in various parts of Australia. We learned from a post from the Xenophon Davis team that most of the gag orders placed on Christo have been removed, and these were things that were stopping him from speaking in any way, shape or form against the Deputy Premier, which is of course a problem for his job, YouTube producer, and a aspiring journalist. It also was a problem for Christo because John Barilaro represented the constituency that Christo was a part of, so it's good to have him being able to speak. We don't know which of those orders were specifically removed, but we're going to assume that it still gives him some freedom. So 6 days later, we get another update. Christo's bail condition, stopping him from being able to walk around his own neighbourhood and go to school, has been lifted. I confess, I don't know much about the layout of Sydney, outside of the fact that it's a mess. That's another massive win, because not only does this allow Christo to speak, it also stops his physical movements from being oppressed, which is a massive deal, a big win. We get a small update on the 8th of July, telling us that a Dr. Matt Collins QC has joined the legal team, as well as their defense being filed, with the promise of more news to arrive soon. And we get that new news. It is revealed by The Guardian, one of the Jordies team's favourite news sources, that a truth defense has been filed, meaning that everything that they have said is true. The next day, and there's a lot of next days, Barilaros barrister Sue Chrisenthal, I'm gonna call her Sue, she very bravely states that barely a paragraph will survive of the defense document that Jordies has supplied. So she's already really confident that she's got a counter to every single one of Jordies' arguments, and she's going to completely obliterate them in court. A little bit of foreshadowing here, but that claim doesn't continue to hold a lot of power as the reveals go forward. So there's a bit of a break in a lot of the updates that come out from their social media team, but there's this massive update that we received from Xenophon Davis saying that the Jordies team has received more than $1 million towards their legal fund, which was crowdfunded. They even give a very specific number here, $1,060,300 Australian dollars. This was because of the people saying that Jordan and friends were pocketing the money and that he had excess of 2 million, sometimes even stating that he had 4 million. There was actually a lot of rumors going around about this money, and obviously a lot of that was to discredit Jordan and people actually helping him out by donating to his legal fund. And while it's not accurately stated here in the post, I think we can all very logically assume that this was made to really depower those rumors, to remove any of this weird smokescreen by putting a very specific number on it. They've effectively put their money where their mouth is and just gone, no, this is all what we've got, this is all that we've received, and this is all that we're doing anything with. Sometime later, after that post, it seems that Barilaro has gained quite an interesting taste for the defamation lawsuits that he seems to be throwing around, because his daughter, who ended up becoming the advisor to Barnaby Joyce, which is the guy who threatened to kill Johnny Depp's dogs when he was trying to come to Australia. Basically, John Barilaro's daughter got fined for breaching the COVID lockdown rules, not once or twice, but about 3 times. And John didn't like the fact that his daughter was effectively fined, so he decided to sue the police officer, which is hilarious, since she has been effectively dodging all these fines and other various restrictions that have been put under lockdown. Very interesting thing that Jordies managed to get his hand on was a screenshot of John Barilaro's daughter bragging about being able to be free when everybody else had to legally stay locked up in their house for the protection of the entire nation. So, you know, like father, like daughter, taking advantage of people and running around doing whatever the hell they want to do. So now we get to the meat and potatoes of a lot of these updates. This is actually very good stuff. We actually start getting updates from what's happening inside the courts. At least I'm assuming that, given, you know, these posts, because of their context, right? It's on the 23rd of July. A bit of time's passed. Jordies lets us know that the barrister who promised to eviscerate his defense, she thinks that lying in Parliament about the mismanage and misuse of our taxpayer money to a sum of $3.3 million is the same as your parent lying about a goldfish dying. So I don't know what kind of $3.3 million goldfish Sue's parents had been buying her, but that's really not the same. With the monstrous oversimplification about the lie, in addition to, downplaying an indictable offense committed at one of the highest levels that you can possibly perform it, the next day we get this little gem from Sue, which actually helps the Jordies team because, in so few words, she states that John isn't dishonest about his pork barreling and that he openly does it. Full quote on screen. Now, this is hilarious and stupid for two main reasons. First is that she admits that her client does, in fact, pork barrel. But because he's listed it as one of the counts of defamation against the Jordies team, with his lawyer effectively saying that he does it proudly and he does it openly, it's not defamation anymore. How could Jordan possibly lower the standing of John Barilaro for something that he does openly and proudly? It can't. It would be impossible for him to do that when he's running around calling himself John Pork Barilaro. It's a great way to weaken your own argument in a court of law. So, don't know where John got his lawyer from, but I'd get my money back. In a bizarre twist of fate, today, only a few hours ago, the Jordies team have announced that Google, yes, Google, will be fighting a defense claim alongside Team Jordies. If you didn't already know, Barilaro has decided to sue Google for not taking down the various Bruz videos on the main channel Friendly Jordies, and so Google has decided to step in. It's quite the unlikely pairing, but Barilaro is in some very serious trouble now. I've only heard rumors about the Google lawyers, but if they're anything like Disney, there's not going to be a lot left of this man once they're done. That's all the public information that has been released about the Barilaro saga. Jordies and team have actually returned to a far more prominent position as of this recording, and they've started throwing out more content with regards to Gladys Berejiklian and the lockdowns in Sydney. They're up doing their own thing, it's just not Barilaro specific. If you want to be able to stay up to date, I would recommend either going and following their channel or following them on social media so you can see all these updates. But I just wanted to really quickly just put everything together. It's a nice little snack that could just be sent out into the void, and people could be caught up on all of what has been transpiring. But until something far more dramatic happens, and then I feel some burning need to have to throw my 2 cents in, my hat into the ring, or whatever metaphor you'd prefer to use, that will be it for now, and I will see you next time.